umaga, mayad nga agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee here in my coffee with Ginno cup. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. 3-in-1 is coffee, cream, and sugar. Many varieties of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. When I go to the grocery store, there's like a whole aisle of 3-in-1 coffee, but this is my favorite. I've been drinking Copico Blanco for many years now. I've tried many different ones, but I kind of settled on Copico Blanca. Hi, all right. Do you know Stray Kids? Not familiar with the Stray Kids, my friend. Lowell, hey, good morning, Lowell. Kumusta? Mabuti ako, Lowell. Salamat. Mabuhay, Philippines. All right. And God bless, my brother. Let me just make sure here I got everything lined up here on my my laptop. All right, looks like I'm good. I'm playing at least. I gotta make sure. I always start the live stream. I try to get the weather. That seems to be a topic of interest for people not here in the Philippines. And looking at the Pag-asa website, we do not have any weather condition like typhoon, storms, a low pressure area that brings a lot of rain here. Looks like we're on the clear for 2025. I mean, it's the 27th already here. We got 4 days left in 2025. So maybe we've seen our last typhoon in the Philippines. And we had plenty this year, man. We've had like 23. We almost ran out of the alphabet, with the typhoons. Because here, they named the typhoons here. They start with the letter A at the beginning. The first one is letter A. We went all the way to W, Typhoon Wilma, just like the Flintstones. So Wilma, number 23 was Typhoon Wilma. So hopefully we're done. With the typhoons for 2025. We've definitely had more than our share of typhoons this year. Usually we average about 18 to 20. But this year was 23 typhoons so far. I mean, we're not, it's not over yet, 2025, but looks like we're on the clear. I'm looking at the Windy app, and I do not see anything on the Windy app that would indicate that there would be a typhoon coming for the rest of the year here. But today, from Northern Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, Palawan, Metro Manila, pretty much the same weather today. We are still in the wet season, considered the wet season here in the Philippines. So today, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Yesterday, Dazzle and I, we drove back from Rojas City to our house here in Numancia. About a 2-hour drive for us when we go to Rojas City. And sunny. Man, it was like a nice and sunny, warm afternoon. We drove back in the afternoon, but it was great. It was a great drive. Not many people on the road either. Yesterday. I guess everybody had a lot of Christmas food to eat, a lot of celebration during Christmas. So everything on the road was pretty chill. No accidents on the road yesterday. That was nice to see because unfortunately, lately I've been seeing a lot of accidents on the highways here in Panay Island. Eugene Villanueva, good morning, brother. Dazzle, light is done. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Eugene, appreciate that. Eugene, advance, happy new year 2020. Hey, a few more days. Looking forward to New Year's. Actually, yesterday, I had to, I got a flat while we were in Rojas City. It was the valve. The valve was leaking. The valve was leaking on one of the tires. So I rode from Roa City back here on the spare tire. My spare tire on the Toyota Wigo is a full tire. It's not one of those donut, you know. Usually you know, in the cars I had in the US, I remember seeing like the little donut, you know, you're not supposed to ride on that for a distance. But my car, I was surprised for an economy car, the Toyota Wigo. We own a 2019 Toyota Wigo. It has a full tire. So put that reserve tire, drove back here, and then when we got back here to Numancia, we went there's right beside the Toyota Aklan dealership here. There's a tire shop, vulcanizing shop, and they do a good job. I guess when I bought the new tires, I replaced all my tires in 2025. We bought the car in 2018, so I figured 7 years I'll replace all the tires. But for some reason, I've had a problem with the valve on each of the tires. I think I'm down to like that was the last one where I did not replace the valve. So I should be good now. All the tires on my car have valves replaced, or it doesn't cost much to replace it either. It's like the guy charged me like 100 pesos to replace the valve. You know, he had to remove the valve, put a new valve in there. So I was like, man, I actually gave him 100 peso tip because I was like, you know, he had to jack my car up, replace it and everything, and do the valve. That's a lot of work for 100 pesos, you know, for less than $2, you know. So I figure I gave him a 100 peso tip, a $2 tip. But I'm all set now on the car. All good now. But 2026, looking forward to 2026. Another year here in the Philippines. Come March of 2026, I've been here in the Philippines now for 15 years. I'm going on my 15th year in 2026. Good morning, Emilio. We were chatting. Emilio and I were chatting, and I actually asked. He asked me, "What's gonna be the topic today?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a topic prepared, but give me a topic." You know, and he did. Emilio said, "Why don't I discuss how you would deal with your in-laws, like mother-in-law, father-in-law, your wife's family, the in-laws." So that's gonna be my topic today. How I dealt with my in-laws, and how, you know, maybe it will help you as far as like I know many expats, Americans, Canadians, Australians, British. They come to the Philippines and they marry a Filipina here. And the common dynamic here in the Philippines is you marrying a younger Filipina. I have seen couples here. I have friends here that their spouses or their partner are right at their same age as them, but they're kind of like a minority. I think it's a majority. I would say probably 80%, if I had to guess. 80% of us that come here to the Philippines, I moved here to the Philippines when I was 45 years old. A lot of us will be dating younger women. That's just the dynamic here. That is what's available for most of us. You know, it's like when I moved here, I was 45, but I was super fit, man. I was a runner. I was a cyclist in the U.S. I did 100-mile races in the U.S. I was pretty active. I hiked mountains. So I was looking for somebody that can keep up with me. And unfortunately, here in the Philippines, I'm not saying, you know, I don't like generalizing, but I wasn't meeting a lot of 40 years old and above that were fit like I was when I was 45. And so that's usually the dynamic. And then a lot of times, you know, when women are in their 40s and above, a lot of times they already have kids. They've been married and have kids. And here in the Philippines, there's no divorce. So that eliminates, like, even if they're separated, even if the Filipino couple separates here, they're married forever. You can't marry the Filipina. You know, I always tell people, you know, when you meet a Filipina with kids, it's not rude, in my opinion, to ask the Filipina, hey, can I get your Senomar? You know, Senomar in the Philippines is a certificate of no marriage. Because as a foreigner, you want to make sure that if you're getting intimate, you're getting deep in a relationship with a Filipina, you have that chance to marry that Filipina, right? That's usually where most people will end up being. And if the Filipina has been married here in the Philippines before, I haven't seen one that's gotten married again here in the Philippines. Maybe you could do something, marry in another country, Thailand or whatever. But here in the Philippines, there is no divorce here. So once a Filipina gets married here in the Philippines, I have yet to meet a Filipina that married again here in the Philippines. So I don't think it's out of bounds to ask for that for Senomar, just to make sure, because unfortunately Filipinas have been known to lie about that. It's not because maybe they're ashamed, they really want to be with you, that they will say that their husband they've never been married. But usually, if a Filipina has kid, to me, I would ask for the Senomar. Let me go back here to the comments. But that will be my topic this morning. But let me go through the comments because I don't want to get too behind on the comics. But I will tackle the topic of how I handled the in-laws, the family, and then maybe you can learn a little bit from my experience. Eugene also. All right, Molly. Hey, Molly Miller. Hello. Oh my God, what exactly are typhoons? Oh, typhoons, Molly. Typhoons are similar to hurricanes. So for people in Florida, a typhoon, tropical cyclone, but hurricane, very damaging. Usually damaging winds. It's not really like the rain during the typhoons. It's the wind that causes a lot of damage. Winds go up to like 100, 150 miles per hour on the typhoons. Same thing as a hurricane. If you've seen a hurricane in the United States, in Florida, the Gulf Coast, that is what a typhoon is. So every year we get about 18 to 20 typhoons here. Usually the trajectory of the typhoons here in the Philippines is eastern Visayas. It goes up north to like central Luzon or northern Luzon. If you live in northern Luzon, like Cagayan, Ilocos area, man, that place gets hammered with half of the typhoons. Here in western Visayas, where I live, we're pretty lucky. We might get hit with two typhoons out of the 18 to 20 a year. And then usually when it hits us here in western Visayas, it has weakened some because it will hit like landfall. It'll make landfall in eastern Visayas, Samar, Leyte. It'll go to central Luzon like Cebu. And then by the time it hits us, usually it weakens. The typhoons weaken. But same damage that hurricanes in the United States as the typhoons here in the Philippines. Sending support also. J-Boy, good morning, Kuya Ginno and the Panay Posse. All right, J-Boy. Good AM, Ginno. Hey, Fortune. My brother in Bacoor, Cavite. Good morning, Fortune. The Panay Posse. All right. Do you know? Okay, that guy keeps asking me about streak. I'm not familiar with. Maybe I'll ask Leanna. Maybe maybe that's something. Fortune, watch James and Karen's vid from Rojas. Yeah, I did too. I saw a lot of motovlogging, and I love James's motovlogging. He does a great job on the motovlog, the music on the motovlogging. The Colonel getting a flat, man. But the one thing when you get a flat tire here in the Philippines, and I think I mentioned it a little bit yesterday, like one thing, we don't have AAA here, not in the province anyway. I've been seeing AAA, maybe in Manila where Fortune lives, maybe they have some kind of AAA. In the US, it's kind of like if you get a flat, dead battery or something, they come out to you to support you. But here in the Philippines, none of that. But here, You will never have an issue with the amount of people that will help you change a tire here, or any mechanical issue with your motorbike, with your car. People are just helpful here in the province. Like for 2025, like I said, I've had so much problems with my tires, with the valve. I would say I probably had like 5 times where I had a flat in 2025, this year. And every single time I got a flat, people assisted me because I can't do a lot of lifting anymore, like even with the jack, replacing the tire. But every single tire, if I it don't matter if I got a flat on the highway, I got a flat on the road here, people will just assist you. People will stop. Next thing you know, there'll be like 4 or 5 people asking me, "Okay, where's your jack? Where's your spare tire?" And they'll replace the tire for you. And of course, me, I always tip them. I always tip the people that stop. Usually, anybody really. It's like it could be like a tricycle driver. It could be somebody on a motorbike. You'll just see them. They'll just stop and then help you. Not one of those things where, if that happened to you in the U.S., if you're standing by the highway or by the road somewhere, not many will be stopping. Yeah, even if you flag people down, in the U.S., I know people are apprehensive about stopping because you don't know what you're gonna get. Maybe it's some kind of like a ruse to stop you or jack you, or here in the Philippines, you can see, like, even on the Colonel's video, it's like James's video, they removed the tire from a Colonel's back tire. That's not easy either to remove that tire. I know for the tricycle, it's not easy to remove it. And then you saw a guy in a motorbike, in a scooter, he had the Colonel's tire in there and he took it to get it fixed. It's like people very helpful here in the province. Eugene, J-Boy, I don't know what that shouty shouty, is that like a shout out, Eugene, Dinda. All right, good AM, J-Boy, Emilio, Lowell, Morning Fortune, good AM, Lowell. All right, for people that aren't used to the channel here, a lot of the people that watch the live stream, my morning live streams, we know each other. It's like people have become friends. That's why people greet hello, hey, hello, hi. That's why everybody, for just the people that are new, that you might get confused, like, how come everybody knows everybody? It's like, but that's just the way it is with my live stream. We got a lot of regulars that listen into the live stream. You never respond to my comments, the Indonesian guy. If I don't understand what you're saying, I'm not gonna read it. Just because, there's people that try to trick, us that do live streams. They'll want us, hey, read this, and it's offensive or something that you're trying to be funny. If I don't know what the if I don't understand, if I don't understand what's it's saying on the screen, I'm not gonna read it. I don't want to offend anybody. Good morning, Bill. Prayers, Bill Meyer. I've been married to a Filipina for 17 years. She is a year older than me. Oh, great. I've seen that dynamic too. It's like, even here in the Philippines, I have friends here where they are with a Filipina same age or even older than them. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, but the common dynamic that I see here with expats moving here in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, the Filipina is younger. Yeah, normally. Like I would say, if I had to guess, I would say probably 80%. Like me, my wife is 29 years younger than me. I'll be 60 this year. Dazzle, she's going to be 31 this year. All right, let me see if I can get to my topic. Belated Merry Christmas. Hey, Gavin, my good friend, Brisbane, Australia. All right, I know, man. I haven't seen you in a while, but thank you. Merry Christmas. Hope that they've been good to us. We just came back from Roa City, spent Christmas Day with our good friends in Roa City. So awesome. So far, I can't complain. The holidays has been good. Good food, good company. I mean, that's all you can ask during the holidays. Paul Morgan. Good morning, Ginno and family. Hope Great Christmas, great Christmas. To top it off was like hanging out with our friends Michael and Kat, James and Karen. The Colonel was there, so it was a great Christmas day, a good Christmas day. Hope we all, yes, definitely. I hope everyone has a blessed 2026 coming up. Take care. All right, my friend. All right, Paul. Take care, my brother. Good morning, brother Fox. All right, good morning, Fox. I see the group FB Expats Philippines. Yeah, I've joined that group. And I happened to read the post, and it's mostly about complaints about the way things are in the Philippines. I know, Fortune. But there's people there that I think a lot of it, I like belonging to that group just because I kind of get the feel of like what people don't like here in the Philippines. So I at least it gives me topics to discuss. Is there I don't know what that is. So I'm not gonna read it. Fortune, you just ask for hello and plenty will help you. Just give them a tip. Yes, right. Fortune knows about this. No, even like anything that you do here in the Philippines, people are always like, if I needed help, like in the house here or something, there's always people that will help you. But I always give a tip. Because it's they're going out of their way, their time, and people's time is important, especially in the provinces. And in the provinces, people are just helpful, man. It's just like they just want to. I think they just want to like feel like they know how to do it. They want to show that they know how to do it. It's like you just get a good vibe here in the province. Daniel, my brother in Jacksonville, Florida. Howdy to all my posse bros. Hey man, the Panay Posse is catching on. I'm seeing it more. Panay Posse, man, and that's your creation. Daniel. That came from Daniel, the Panay Posse. Fortune, good AM, Daniel. Gus Spring, I know. I decide what he deserves. No one else. Gus Spring, baby. Hello, Fort and Gus. All right. Good AM, Fox. Happy holidays. Hey, Smart Biz. A long time. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Daniel, turn in May 30. 13 days vacate. All right. Congratulations, Daniel. JP. He might not be on the live stream today because I think he's on a plane now. I think JP's, because I am picking up JP at Boracay Airport in 2 days. 2 days I'll be picking up JP. So he might be traveling to Seattle already. I know he goes from Seattle to Seoul in Korea to Cebu. And then I'll finally pick him up at the airport in Boracay Airport. So JP is on his way. Getting near, Daniel. You are eating pancake. Oh yes, I was eating pancake at the bread basket in Rojas City. Delicious. I mean, those were like crusty a little bit on the top, moist inside, and not dense. Usually that's what I look for a pancake. So when I slice a pancake, if it's too dense in the middle, I don't like. I like it fluffy in the middle, kind of crunch. Kind of got like crunchiness on the outside. Mary said hi. All right. Thank you, Marian Bird. Hi, Ginno. Greet Frosty. Oh, Frosty. Must be cold in Germany. Thank you for joining the live stream. I'm gonna try to get through here. That way I hit my topic. I just don't want to get too behind on the comments. All right, I think I got it. I think German. All right, Marian. Yes, I agree. All right. So the topic, how I dealt with when I met Dazzle. Dazzle and I met. We were in college. We were still attending college. We attended college for 4 years, STI College Calibo. I decided to go back to school. I was 45 and I decided to go back to school. here in Calibo because I hadn't used my GI Bill. The GI Bill for military retirees like me, I'm United States Air Force retired. We have an education benefit. We're able to attend 4 years of college free. The government pays for 4 years of college. And while we're going to school, the 9 months out of the year, we also get a housing allowance from the United States military in the United States. So when I went to school 2012 to 2016, when I went to college for 4 years, I was getting about $1,500 for my housing allowance in Calibo. And at the time, my rent in Calibo cost me like $120. So that's a good chunk of change, over $1,380 I was keeping for living expenses, whatever. So I was able to save a lot of money during those 4 years in college. And that's why I went back to college. And then to earn a degree, and it's a benefit that I had from the United States military. It had an expiration date. At the time, I think 2019. So I had to use my benefit before 2019. So I decided, hey, I'm retired. I'm just doing nothing here in the Philippines. So I figured I went back to school, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, the college here in the Philippines, it was a great experience for me. STI College Calibo. I still have many, many friends from STI College Calibo. My professors, the administrator, all my batchmates. We graduated in 2016. Great experience. Like for people that haven't used their GI Bill, the Philippines, man, the Philippines is a great place to use it. And I earned a bachelor's degree in information technology. We had acquaintance parties every year at the beginning of the school year, big party at the school. We had intramurals. I played intramural sports. I played basketball. I played tennis. I played chess. It was just a great experience for me because, like I said, I was fit at the time. I'm still pretty fit now, but I'm a little older. I gotta, I don't move around like I did like 15 years ago. How many people you got at the base? That's funny. That's funny. I mean, some of the, but it's all good. It's like I don't mind. I don't read bad comments or anything like that. So that's where Dazzle and I met, and then after graduation, we graduated 2016. Dazzle and I got married. In April, Dazzle and I will be married 10 years already. So it's been a great 10 years. I'm blessed. It's been amazing. But the way I dealt with Dazzle, even while we were in college, we had all 4 years of college. I really got to know Dazzle, because, and to me that's important that your partner take your time. I know some people rush in. Some people rush into like relationships with a Filipina here, and nothing wrong with that. But I think you got a better chance of the relationship working long term if you take your time. Get to know your Filipina. There was many situations where while we were in school, going to college, Dazzle and I will just talk, and I would just ask her questions like, it's like, what are your dreams? What are your in the future? What the things do you want to accomplish? Then of course I was like, by the time when Dazzle and I started dating, of course, the number one step here, the minute you start dating a Filipino, you gotta meet the parents. Gotta meet the parents, gotta meet the family. I think that's a common dynamic here. In the U.S., I know sometimes people get married in the U.S. and the first time they introduce their partner to their parents is like they're already engaged or they're already getting married. And it's because of the distance, Some people, their parents might be in California, they're living in Texas now. They meet somebody that they propose to. It takes to fly back to California, so maybe the distance. But here in the Philippines, very common here in the Philippines that the minute you start dating a Filipina here, you're gonna have to meet the parents pretty quick. I would say within a month of dating a Filipina, once you and the Filipina are it, like once you guys are like dating, like you're the couple, once you become a couple, pretty quick that you'll have to meet the parents. And I recommend that. I recommend you, and I know that's not a common dynamic in the US because people in the US date casually, right? A lot of people in the US, when I was in the US, when I was working, I was single. It's not, it's okay in the US to like go out on the movies with a female, and then a week later, oh, I'll call you if something, like when and date another person. You can be dating 2 3 women in the United States at the same time. Nothing wrong with that. Casual dating, right? It's only dinner. It's only a movie. Here in the Philippines, that's not a common dynamic here in the Philippines. In the Philippines, when you're dating somebody, the expectation of that Filipina is you're a couple already, that you're not going out with somebody else. Like if I ask somebody out this week and we go out on a date, if next week I go out and ask another Filipina on a date, that's kind of frowned upon here because that would be like, oh, he's a two-timer, he's a playboy, kind of thing. So know that, but I do know, I know there's some expats here that still think that they're in the West, that they're in their country and they'll date few women. Nothing wrong with that. And then, he's single, can do that. But for the Filipinos and the Filipinas, how they would look at that, that does not look good for you. And then you don't want the word spreading out. Oh, he's a player. He's not a serious guy. He just wanted to get with so many Filipinas. He's not a serious relationship guy. So to me, the key was with Dazzle, during our college years, even before I proposed to Dazzle. I proposed to Dazzle, it was an event at school, our senior year of college. It was, I think it was like the first semester. We had 2 semesters on our senior year. The first semester, we had an event in school like Rizal, like Jose Rizal's a national hero. So that's when I proposed, in front of everybody, I proposed to Dazzle. It was quite an event. I actually have it on video somewhere in our videos. But I really knew Dazzle already by that time because we've been to, in college, we knew each other in college, saw each other day to day. We sat together in college, it's like at the lab. The whole school knew that Dazzle and I were a couple. I did not date anybody in our school before Dazzle because I knew that dynamic. I knew that before I committed to somebody to date somebody, that's got to be it for me. Because like if I dated somebody in the college there and I dated another Filipina there, your reputation is shot. They're gonna go, oh, Ginno's just a player, and I did not want to have that reputation. So I took my time. I was friends with a lot of people. I was kuya to everybody, and I was fine with that because I wasn't in a hurry to get in a relationship anyway. Because I knew in the Philippines, when you get in a relationship here, it's really, you go from like dating to marriage. That's the dynamic here. It's not like dating several women, finding the right one. Usually it's like you date one, that is it. That Filipina, the minute you're a couple, the minute you're it, they're already thinking marriage. Her parents are already thinking marriage. Her siblings are already calling you kuya and thinking marriage. That's just the way the dynamic is here. Scuba, hey, Scuba Steve, good morning, my brother. John Vasquez, good morning. All right, good morning, John V, the alien, love the alien, man, love the alien symbol. Peanut Butter Travel here, all right, Peanut Butter Travel, really appreciate your support always, man. So really, a lot, what taking my time, what dating Dazzle throughout college, during our college year, I saw Dazzle every day in school, and even, by the time we start dating, come junior year, senior year, we were even taking vacations already, like in Boracay, because Dazzle's from Caticlan, and so we were able to see, even during the school breaks, we were able to see each other. So I would just like sneak questions to Dazzle. I really wanted to know what her her future, what he think, what she views as her future. So I really got to know her. But that the meeting mom and dad, like I said, once I started dating Dazzle, once they knew, because here in the Philippines, once Dazzle and I start dating, of course Dazzle's gonna tell her parents, like, mom, dad, I'm dating this guy at school, so we were dating. So like I said, it didn't take very long. I think once we were a couple, like 30 days, and then I had to meet the parents. I had to meet the parents. John B. Ray, good morning from Bulalakaw. Safe travels, Ray. Hi, Scuba. John B. Ray. Scoob Dog, Scoob Dog. All right. Safe travels, Ray. All right, safe travels, Ray. He was traveling here. He actually passed Numancia. He sent me a picture. He took a picture of our town hall in Numancia. But Dazzle and I, yesterday, we were in Roa City. We were spending time at Robinson's Mall. We ate there at Robinson's Mall. Shopping again for Dazzle. I'm trying to, usually Dazzle's pretty controlled with the shopping. But this time, she still has grieving thing with our Chloe, with our Shih Tzu passing away. So I'm just letting Dazzle, whatever you want, babe, whatever you want, because I want her to like get her mind right again, to be happy again. So when I met Dazzle's. I remember to this day, the day I met Dazzle's parents. Dad especially. Dad's a character, man. Dazzle's father is a character, because I'm not a heavy drinker, and even now I rarely drink, maybe half a beer, But when I met Dazzle's dad, he loves karaoke. So I was like, all right, it's like karaoke, it's typical for Filipino. I went to their house in Caticlan, and it was like 12 noon. So it was like a lunch thing, It's like, but I did eat before I there, because I didn't know whether they were serve me food or anything. So and at the time I was still, I still had a place in Boracay. I had an apartment in Boracay. I had an apartment in Calibo. So it wasn't a long trip for me, just a ferry. I even took my mountain bike. Actually, I rode my mountain bike to Dazzle's house in Caticlan. When I met Dad, it's like he had the Ginebra gin. Man, I don't think there's any more stronger alcohol here in the Philippines than Ginebra gin. It's like that little bottle of gin. It's almost like drinking gasoline. It's like the strongest alcoholic drink, I think, here in the Philippines. And he had like packets of Tang. He was mixing the Tang. He would make a mixture of the Tang and the gin, and he had a shot glass. So the minute I got there, I sat down with him. We were singing karaoke together. Next thing you know, he's handing me shots of gin. So of course, me, I was like, I wanted to make a good impression. So I was drinking shots of gin with him. I survived. I survived the gin experience. I've never had Ginebra gin in my life. That's why it's so memorable to me that drinking that gin. Fox, brother Ray Dog, Stevie. Oh, Scuba Steve, yes. And Ray Dog from Fox Finder, Fox. All right. So I met her dad. I met Dazzle's dad. I met Dazzle's mom. Mom was a masseuse. Mom was a masseuse in Boracay Island. Dad was a tour guide in Boracay. So I got to know them, and I was trying to get to know. I met Dazzle's sister, Nene. Makmak, the older brother, Miko, the younger brother, and Leanna at the time wasn't even born yet. Leanna wasn't even born yet. All right. So I just want, to me that is an important meeting, just because you can kind of sense the dynamic in the family. To me, that's important, because watching the interaction between, mom and dad, the siblings, because when I went to their house, everybody was there to meet me. And that's a common dynamic too. Like when you go to visit the parents, it's not just going to be the parents that's going to meet you there. You don't be surprised if you go to the Filipina's house and there's going to be a dozen people there. waiting for you. You're thinking, well, I want to meet your parents. You're going to the Filipinas house in the province, especially, and when you get there, you're just going to meet mom and dad. That's not usually the usual dynamic. Is there's gonna be 10, 12 family members there. They're like curious. They're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy dating our dazzle, our dazzle. So that's, even like when you're in a long distance relationship with the Filipina, you're in the US and you're communicating with the Filipina. When it's that time when you fly into the airport to meet your Filipina, don't be surprised if when you go to the airport, there's like a barangay of people. I'm exaggerating, not barangay, but maybe 10 people there with your Filipina and 10 people, her family members, to greet you to the Philippines, because they're all interested in meeting you. Because the main thing, I think the reason why everybody wants to meet the AFAM. I'm not a AFAM because I'm Filipino, but I'm Phil-Am. So kind of similar, because like I've spent many years in the United States. That's still, for a Phil-Am, for somebody here in the province, it's still a big deal to them. It's almost the same dynamic with the AFAM. He's Phil-Am. He's like from America. That's still a big deal here. So everybody will meet you. And pretty much, I know what the reason is that they want to meet you. They want to size you up, man. They want to like make sure, they want to see if you're trustworthy, if you're genuine, if you're gonna be. They all want their opinion to see how you are, how you interact, and especially, like I said, it happens pretty fast. You're still different dynamic if you're beginning in the dating, or if you're long distance relationship. But they're all trying to get to know you, because like I said here, things happen fast here. When you're dating a Filipina here, they're already looking at you like a long term, like you're gonna be tito, you're gonna be like uncle, you're gonna be like a relative already. Why, not the dynamic in the U.S., right? In the U.S., until you walk the aisle and get married, that's when they consider you part of their family. But here, the minute you start dating a Filipina, because that the Filipina to AFAM, the Filipina to foreigner, usually when those two meet and they become a couple, marriage is on the table. It's like that's what everybody's looking at already. Ted from Bohol. Hey Ted, good morning, Ted and LV in Bohol. Like I said, it's like casual dating. I'm sure it happens. Like I said, I don't want to generalize. I'm sure casual dating happens also here in the Philippines, but more likely those casual dating, that would be happening in Manila. People that are professional workers. They got careers and all that. But here in the province, if you decide to come to the province, like Panay Island, the 4 provinces here, if you're dating a Filipina here, the dating here means like there's marriage at the end. It's not like I don't see like casual dating here working. If you do, I guess you can. Like I said, I don't want to generalize, but most of the time, it goes pretty fast here. When you're dating, from dating to marriage, it goes pretty quick here. The expectation anyway is like that you're gonna marry the person. Yes, pag blue passport holder ka, iba tingin nila head to foot. Talo na pagtingin nila simple ka lang. Yeah, I get that point. The blue passport here in the Philippines is the American passport, because the U.S. passport is blue. So what the blue passport is, like me, when I came here, you are treated like I want to say like you're like in your they just look at you different. They look at you different because wow, it's like American. You got a blue passport, kind of thing. Emilio, marrying a Filipina is like you marrying the whole family, right? Of course, brother. Good thing you asked that. To me, anyway, right? To me, Emilio, when you marry a Filipina, you are marrying her family. I know many people will say, many foreigners especially, oh, I'm marrying the Filipina. Not marrying her whole family. But the success of your marriage, I think, will be hurt a little bit if the expat, if the foreigner has that kind of mentality. Just because the Filipina here, the bonds with the Filipina and her family are strong. If you take that away from your Filipina, she's gonna miss that. And another thing, a lot of Filipinas here, their parents, they idolize their parents. It's a hard life here in the Philippines. So for your Filipina to even make it to like 18 years old, especially if your Filipina graduated college, mom and dad here has a lot to do with that. There are no student loans here. If you're a Filipina here, your only chance of graduating college here, your parents have to work hard. That bond, that utang na loob is what's called here. The daughter that graduated college, she will have that utang na loob is like, I owe my parents. I cannot get to this point in my life without my parents. And it's big here in the Philippines because the hardship, the hard life here in the Philippines. Here in the province, to send one kid to college, it's, man, even if it's like a government college, even if it's a low tuition like Aklan State University, 5,000 pesos a semester, but you're talking room and board, you're talking like books or whatever the student needs, and then the tuition, for a farmer, for a fisherman here, just barely get scraping by, barely putting food on the table, man. The Filipinas here, they know the sacrifices that their parents made for them to at least get to the level where at least they finish college. So for you to take for the expat, for the foreigner, to remove that dynamic from the Filipinas, saying, well, I'm marrying you, I'm not marrying your family. That's going to create problems for you in the future, I think, because the Filipina will always want to help the parents. The Filipina, especially the Filipinas, the oldest, and she's got younger siblings, that Filipina's going to want to help the siblings get to college, spend the money in college. That way, because she knows that with her graduating college, she has the opportunity. Like for Dazzle and I, it's like we graduated college. Miko's the next to Dazzle that had to attend college. We helped Miko with his college and I knew that dynamic because I'm like, I want, to me, when I married Dazzle, I just didn't marry her. I married her family. I want her family to succeed. I want her family to have a better life. Like sending Miko to college, I did not mind helping with that just because I know it will create opportunity. He's now graduated college. He now works at a hotel in Boracay. If you didn't graduate college, the chances are here, if you don't graduate college here in the Philippines, you might end up like a construction worker or a tricycle driver or a jeepney driver. Nothing wrong with those jobs, but you can't raise a family here. Very hard to raise a family here, just doing that job. That's like the culture. I have to support them. It is, and to me, I don't think this is a secret anymore. That's why with the foreigners dating a Filipina, this is not a secret anymore that the bonds of family here are tight. So to me, I don't think that's really the foreigner being honest when they say, I'm not supporting the family. I don't want to become a human ATM. I hear that all the time. I'm not a human ATM. But to me, you already knew that before you met the Filipina. Like now, I'm discussing this with you guys. You guys know the dynamic of the family here. So if they're a single gentleman, single foreigner coming to the Philippines, you can't claim that, oh, I didn't know that I'm supposed to support her family. I don't think that exists anymore, right? I think we all know that if you marry a Filipina, you're gonna help her family, especially if her, you might be the lucky one where the family's well off. Like if the family's like Fortune, Fortune's a banker, Fortune's wife is an ER doctor. You don't have to support them because they got money. But chances are, with the number of poverty here in the Philippines, here in the province, the high poverty rate, chances are you're gonna meet a Filipina that comes from not many means, from a poor family. Weren't you the guy at the? Oh, I'm the guy at the barbershop. I got my high and tie. I got my high and tie haircut, man. I made the trap in the wall. Oh, okay, you made the trap in the wall joke. All right, I remember you. I remember you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining the live stream. So to me, it's not realistic. And the common dynamic here too, with a lot of the parents here, like the Filipinos parents here. The common dynamic that you're gonna see, they're getting older, right? If you're Filipinas, let's say you're Filipinas 25 to 30, chances are the parents are gonna be 50 in their 50s already. And here in the Philippines, 50, because it's a hard life here in the Philippines. Mom's a masseuse for like over 20 years. Dad was a tour guide, going out in the sun all day, if you had a construction job. For Filipinos, man, 50s, they've been through a hard life. They didn't have all the luxuries that we had. So a lot of times when they're in their 50s, they have medical issues already. And then maybe the diet too, people know the diet in the Philippines, a lot of fried food, a lot of pork, a lot of lechon, it's like Filipinos, are not all, like I said, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of times Filipinos are not the healthiest eating people. It's like they eat a lot of stuff that's not good for them. They don't get physicals every year. They don't get medical checks every year. Again, because maybe of the cost. A lot of Filipinos I know here, like the older, my age, 50s and 60s here, don't have insurance, don't have medical insurance, So when you meet a Filipina, your Filipina that you meet here, her parents probably are in that age range where they're gonna start getting sick. So you should know that if you're married to a Filipina, their parents get sick, aren't you gonna help? It's like that's your Filipinas family. And for me, I've always viewed Dazzle's family. When I married Dazzle, that's my family now. Mom, I call her mom because she's my mom now. That's Dazzle's mom, so she's my mom. I'm older than her. I'm like gonna be 60. Mom's only like 51, but I call her mom out of respect. And if something happens to mom, like she did last year, she got sick, I'm gonna help with her hospital bill. I do not have a problem with that because that's what families do here in the Philippines. I know that might be hard dynamic to understand, but that's the Filipino culture. The Filipino culture is about family. I know for in the U.S., if it's just the in-laws or in-laws sibling, like Dazzle siblings, that might not, you hear some that I don't want to. I'm not a walking ATM. I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to support that. Fortune, good AM, Steve and Ray. Peanut Butter Travels, good AM, Fortune. Good AM, John V. All right. Ray, you got to Mindoro na? Ray was here. He passed by Numancia, actually. He sent me a photo yesterday. He caught the ferry from Caticlan. So from there, I don't know if maybe he's headed to Mindoro, but he did catch the ferry yesterday at Caticlan. So to me, my relationship with Dazzle, my in-laws, Dazzle siblings, but also I do not tolerate laziness. You know, if I see somebody that's needing my help and they're unemployed or they're not looking for a job, I don't tolerate that either. You know, I want to see like you got to realize here in the Philippines, they just have a hard life here. No matter how much they try, sometimes they just don't have the means that we had in the US. You know, it's easy to criticize a Filipino. It's easy to tell them, you know, you're just lazy. You're not working hard enough. But like my brother-in-law, younger brother-in-law, Miko, he graduated college. He's been working in Boracay now for 2 to 3 years now. A couple of hotels. He's been upgrading to like the better and better hotels. Now he's working at the Mandarin, one of the like 5-star hotels in Boracay. He's a concierge there. But even with that job as a concierge at a 5-star hotel in Boracay, they don't make a lot of money. And for him, you know, if he's got to live in Boracay, the living expenses, it's hard for them to like save money, you know. Let alone if he gets sick, if he gets seriously sick, they don't have like medical, you know, Phil Health only covers so much. It's not 100% insured. Phil Health there is basically a discount. You still need money. Like let's say he needs surgery. Let's say he's got appendicitis and he needs a surgery, you know, in an instant. He needs to go to surgery right now. You know, he will not have the means, like the savings. They're just very here in the Philippines. If you're working a hotel in Boracay, even if you're single, you're barely like just like you're paycheck to paycheck. You're lucky if you can put away 1,000 pesos a month. So for, you know, an emergency with him, I understand, because if I see him, he's working, he's trying to do his thing. But if I see him in a ER, he needs surgery, why would I not help him? You know, to me, he's my family. You know, that's that. Would I let Dazzle's brother die? You know, to me, that's not even a question for me. And like Liana, like here, like Emilio makes a point here. All right. Oh, okay. Before. Good AM, Ted and LV. Emilio, like the way you support your in-laws, especially Liana and family. Yeah, like Liana. Liana was like, she was going to Caticlan, the elementary school in Caticlan. And I could see that she was, because of the pandemic, you know, the pandemic shut down education here in the Philippines pretty much for 2 years. And what they were doing with the kids here, they were just like giving them a pamphlet, like a paper pamphlet for them to do homework at home. And a lot of times the parents were doing it. And that's what mom was doing. She was doing the things for Leanna, because she can't understand half the things that they were sending him, just so that she didn't get in trouble with the government in Caticlan. So I saw that dynamic with Leanna, because we would take food for them. We would take like groceries, everything during the pandemic. And when I saw Leanna, I'm like, what are you studying now? You know, I'm like, man, this girl, you know, she's getting behind, you know, 2 years, nobody tutoring her, nobody really assisting her with her education. That's why I said, well, I will take Leanna in. That way I can focus, I can concentrate on showing her the schoolwork that she needs to do, you know. And now, you know, she's in the honor roll now. She's, you know, her English is improving day to day. We're working on her English, her vocabulary, reading and comprehension. So I know at least now I've gotten her to the point where in a few years here now, she's got a good shot at the nursing school in Calibo. She got a future. If I let Leanna just stay in Caticlan, if Dazzle and I didn't take her in, I don't think she would have, you know, her academics would be in the level that it is now. It's a fine balance trick to help others and protect yourself in your future. Yes, and Daniel, and that's the thing, you know, that's the next point I was gonna bring out, Daniel. When Dazzle and I got married, before we got married, I proposed to her, and then we were getting married. Before we even, before we did the I do, I told Dazzle, hey, babe, I'm living on my military pension alone. This is how much I make every month. We have to be frugal. we have to budget because we're living on one pension, my military pension alone. So Dazzle understood that. And that's the key. Make sure you, before you get married, before you make that jump to make it married, you like put the ground rules down, right? Talk to your Filipina, be honest. I know that's sometimes a hard conversation to make, finances. Like Dazzle and I, even before we got married, we were already talking about finances. We were already talking about if I die, those kind of hard conversations, right? It's like Dazzle didn't even want to talk about that. She goes like, "You're not dying. I don't want to talk about you dying." But you have to prepare your Filipinas for that because a lot of expats here. I've seen it. I'm sure you guys do on Facebook groups. The expat dies and the Filipina is like left with like debt. The expat bought a new car here. Sometimes bought the Filipina house, but they bought it on credit. So what happens when the foreigner dies? The Filipina inherits all that credit on a motorbike, credit on a car, credit on a electric one of those electric golf cart, credit on the house. Man, if you don't make the payments in the house here in the Philippines, it's the same thing. They're gonna like repossess that house. So those conversations, even for Filipinas, I wish more Filipinas would be educated about it, about like finances. A lot of times what I see the dynamic, unfortunately, the Filipinas are just so happy that their life is better now because they met a lot of fun. But they don't a lot of Filipinas sometimes don't understand like the dynamic of credit. Here in the province, a lot of people here in the province, they don't have credit here. It's like you'll be lucky to get credit here on a motorbike if you're a Filipino here. But they don't understand that just because the foreigner is riding a nice car, he's riding like a Ford Ranger, doesn't mean he owns the Ford Ranger, because the Ford Ranger might be on credit. It's like or lives here at Camilla Aklan. He lives in a 6 million, 7 million peso home here in Camilla Aklan, but it could be on credit or rent or just be renting, so. But a lot of times Filipinos don't question that anyway. They're just happy their life improved some, that they met on the farm. Aloha from Oahu, Hawaii. Hey, Derek, aloha, brother. Good AM, Derek. Ginno, I did not notice of the kids nowadays. Don't want to put the work in at school. My nieces and nephews choose not to go to college. Ooh, wow. That said, I don't think that's a good thing. If your nieces or nephew don't go to college, man, that's gonna be tough for them, right? Unless they're fishermen, unless they're farmers, or unless they're, I don't know what the future will hold for them if they don't go to college. Because here in the Philippines, even here in Calibo, I know. Even Jollibee or McDonald's, they require some college to get into like a McDonald's or Jollibee, because you got to know how to count. You got to know if you're handling money, if you're a cashier at the grocery store here, you have to be decent at math. And if you don't go to college, man, I don't know what kind of future me, man, I'm making sure that Leanna, I'm making sure she goes to college. And even the little nephews now, I'm always like telling them, you got to study hard, because getting into college is not just getting into college. It's getting into college with the skills already, like the math skills, the English skills. Anybody can go to college. Here in the Philippines, there's private schools here that you can just pay. But, even the high school years are so important here. Fortune can tell you this, man, because like in order to get into a good college in Manila, man, you gotta lock down your high school years. Like Fortune, he went to like a National Science High School in Manila. That's a big time high school here. You got to be like a smart to get into that high school. And then that's a step for you to get into the Harvard of the Philippines, UP Diliman, University of the Philippines in Diliman. So I don't know, Ted. I don't think that's a good thing if your nieces and nephew don't want to go to college, man. Like even me, Dazzle's nephews here, the little ones, I'm already like, I already told them, it's like, study hard. If you got the grades, I'll pay for your college when it's college time. Good AM, fortune and all. Emilio, you're absolutely right. People there don't have opportunities like here in the US. If they make $25 an hour, I don't think they're going to stop working and be lazy. No, no, man. Here in the Philippines, you got to realize, I know they're trying to raise the minimum wage here. In the province now, it was low, man. I think at one time it was only like 350 pesos a day, like $7 a day. But now they're trying to raise it, I think, to 550 pesos, so about $10 a day. I don't care what country you live in, $10 a day is not that much. When you factor in your transportation costs to go to the job, you gotta eat. They're not providing food, and then your lodging. That's why a lot of Filipinos here, even when they graduate college, they live at home. It's like even when you get a job here, when you graduate college, you get a job. It's not automatic that you can afford your own place. That's not many Filipinos here. Even with a job after college, they have a job, they still live at home because it's just the pay here is just not high. Good morning. Hey, JB, you made it. I thought maybe you're on your way already, JB. That's why I was thinking on the live stream, oh man, JB might be traveling already. Are you in Seattle? JB, waiting for your flight? Good AM, JP. Where are you now? All right, 20 hours away. All right. Okay, 20. So you must be in Seattle, right? For 20 hours of liftoff. JP's leaving on a jet plane. All right, JP. Happy trip, JP. Safe travels, JP. Has credit the 5 to 6 loans. I right, Daniel. So like that's why it's tricky. It's tricky here. I know it because there's like foreigners that come here, and because of their credit in the United States, they come here with credit cards. That's why a lot of foreigners, when they get there, they still use credit cards. So if you're a Filipina, you're seeing a guy that's like, flashing money, buying a nice vehicle, but that vehicle could be from a Navy Federal Credit Union. It's like because you can purchase a vehicle. You can purchase a Ford Ranger here. You can purchase like a FJ Cruiser here, 3 million pesos, close to $60,000 car here. On credit. You can get it from Navy Federal Credit Union in the US. So if you're rolling around here on the FJ Cruiser, people are gonna think you got money. But unfortunately, we know, Daniel, many Americans roll out like that, but many Americans, like a lot of it is on credit, unfortunately. They should go to college unless they just want to do farming or odd jobs. Thank you, Fortune, right? That's the way. That's all. I preach that to Leanna and the nephews. The younger nephews. I always tell them, it's like if you want to come out, if you want to make something of yourself in life here in the Philippines, you're gonna have to go to college. But if you're content of farming, if farming is your thing, it's like farming is not easy, man. People think farming is easy, man. Farming is not easy. I see farmers here, man. They have a hard life here. Yep, Ginno, college is a must here now. I offered. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't, right? But I'm glad, Ted, that you offered. I'm the same way. I'm the same way with Dazzle's nephews, because she's got like 4 nephews. They're little right now. The oldest is 13. Tupe is 9, and then Dudoy and Gab Gab, they're like 6, But I already tell him, study hard, because you're gonna need good grades to get into college. I told them you will be. I know they'll be sorry, I do not want that for them. For me, the reason I'm helping Dazzle's family, the kids, because I just want to leave a good legacy. You know, when I'm gone, you know, I'm gonna be gone someday. I can't live forever. At least I want to give a good legacy where I changed the trajectory of her family. You know, Dazzle was the first person in her family to graduate college. Miko is the second to graduate from Dazzle's family. So now Leanna's gonna be the third to graduate from college. I want that legacy. I want to be able to, like, you know, when I'm dead and gone, at least they, you know, the cycle of poverty in their life, it at least switch. It at least switch. Because like even when mom and Dazzle's father, when they were raising their kids, mom was a masseuse for 20 years, over 20 years in Boracay. Dad was a tour guide in Boracay for over 20 years. Those two people, they're not lazy. Believe me, I know how hard they work. Mom was a masseuse in Boracay. She would work 10, 12-hour days, 7 days a week for her kids. Same thing with dad. Dad would hustle, no matter what he had to do to hustle in Boracay with being a tour guide. And I'm sure you guys know about the tour guides in Boracay, man. They're cutthroat. And then it's hard work. You're out in the sun all day. You're helping tourists. You're doing so many things. They're not lazy by any chance. So I know they work really hard all their life. You can see that from the way they are now, because, you know, the hard life, man, you know, it's like it's hard on the body. It's hard on the body. You know, that's why they have illnesses now. They have aches and pains. You know, it's like they weren't spoiled. They weren't spoiled, man. Daniel, $10 per day is about a half of a Happy Meal in the U.S. I know, right? Imagine that, Daniel. In the province, that's already good salary. That's already a good salary here in the province. If you make $10 a day here, many people here in the province don't even make half of that. You know, many people, like I would say the people that collect our garbage, the gardeners, I bet you they make 300. They make maybe $6 a day. You know, so man, how can you support a family with that? You know, how can you have a wife and kids with that, you know, kind of income? The new generation should do better than the current. They have all, fortune, you know, the new generation's got all the technology and all things. But I think a lot, you know, the social media also is kind of like hurting them in a little bit, you know. They get distracted with social media. I noticed with a lot of Leanna's classmates, you know, they get behind on the schoolwork because they're always on their phones. Michael, I know this a little off subject. All right. As for working with the community, are you doing helping and spreading your blessing? Oh yeah, Michael. We do work. I just don't. I don't ask for money from people. I've never done that. But we do at Leanna School. I actually got a plaque from them last year. I just don't want to make it to where when I help out the community, I don't want it to look like that I'm doing it for YouTube. I'm just not like that. I mean, people can do that. Nothing wrong with it. But for me, I don't need that kind of attention. I'm not doing YouTube to make money. I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. But we do. Like I said, last year I got an award. April during Leanna's graduation, the school gave me an award because of all the community do. I was in the military, man. I was like 20 years United States Air Force, and in the military they always taught us to like give back to the community. Did a lot of community work when I was in the military, and I continued that to this day. But I just don't announce it. I don't do, you know, I don't promote it that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't do that, man. Have a great flight, JP. God bless. Derek, good Leanna going to nursing school. She can go abroad on work. That's her goal, man. That's what I'm putting. Leanna wants to go abroad. You know, Leanna wants to go abroad. Wants to see snow. That's the biggest thing to Leanna. She wants to see snow. So I'm gonna get her there. I know I'm gonna get her there. That's not gonna be a problem. Leanna and I were on she's on her way because I'm working on the English portion because I know how important it is for her to be confident on English, and she is. She's already like when they have events at school. Leanna's already hosting events at school, and she speaks in English, so she's very confident. She get a mic and get in front of people. She's already done the Panatang Makabayan in front of the entire Numancia Integrated School. So she's not shy. She's not shy. Very confident. So, and I told Leanna that you need to be confident. You need to like be proud of yourself. Yeah. Don't listen to the haters. You know, there's always gonna be like the haters like she thinks she's all that. You know, but don't listen to the haters. Just do. The teachers love Leanna in school. Her 5th grade teacher, 6th grade, the 7th grade teacher, they all love her. You know, it's like they're taking pictures with her. She's like a little celebrity in her school because we do YouTube. You know, not as much anymore. I try not to put Leanna on our YouTube channel on our videos because I want her to have her own identity, her own life. I told them, okay, if they don't go to college, go trade school. Yeah, exactly, right? Go to like a TESDA. TESDA is really good, Ted. You know, in TESDA, I know like a barista is like a good job now in the Philippines if you know how to a barista make coffee, because I seem like everywhere I go now it's like there's a coffee shop, Starbucks type coffee shop now. You know, you could be a welder, you could be a mechanic. You know, definitely TESDA is a trade school, or TESDA. Fortune, right, Daniel? $10 a day for meals is enough. If you do karinderya, it will be less. It will be less. Yeah, karinderya. The most complicated thing I have dealt with getting ready for the move have been registering for e-travel with the Philippine government. I spent 3.5 hours getting through it. Oh, that e-travel.gov, the e-travel. You'll have to let me know how that, you know, like when I meet you, JP, show me all that you had to do with that. Emilio, that's crazy. Your mom and dad, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here we work only 4 hours a week and we're complaining. If they ask us overtime, they should be working here. I know, right, Emilio? That's why Dazzle and her siblings, grandma raised them, because mom and dad were never home. Dazzle even told me she never hardly saw her mom. Her mom was like 7 days a week massaging people in Boracay. That can't be easy work, man. You know, 10, 12-hour days in Boracay, you know, massaging people all day, man. That's got, you know, she's got arthritic hands now. She got arthritic hands now. You know, it's like her back hurts now. She's the one that needs a massage now. They play mobile. I know, right? I know, right, Fortune? The kids are so distracted. I don't let Leanna play all those games. But I did notice, I do give her time. She likes Roblox. So I give her time. Like she gets like 1 hour a day that she can play Roblox. You know, I can't like take away everything from Leanna. She has to be a kid too. Kids don't think of the future. Now they are supported by parents, but when they are gone, it would be a problem. I know, right? But Leanna knows, like even now, she knows that she's going to go to nursing school, she's going to work abroad, and she's going to help the nephews with their tuition, whatever she can help. Like, I'm instilling that in Leanna, that, you know, don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself, you know. Think about the hardships that you had to go through in life here to get to your point. And you want the next generation of your family not to go through that, or help them at least with their education. The app was glitching and not accepting. I understand, JP, that I think somebody else had mentioned that. For, you know, that's the thing, man, with like anything online program here in the Philippines, it always doesn't work the way it's supposed to. And I'm sure eTravel.gov is the same. You know, it's like, and then it gets overloaded. You know, it's like it can't handle all the people at the same time, or it just doesn't work. I've never seen a website here in the Philippines that works great. You know, works the way it's supposed to. Unfortunately, a lot of times they don't have enough the system can't handle the load of like people getting into their system. It was great final exam. It was a great final exam for your patients. Your final exam before you get to the Philippines. But I'm glad you're developing that patience because you're gonna need it here, JP. I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna need patience here. I will help guide you to the patience that you will need here in the province. I missed that $10. That was the daily wage pala. I thought expats budget for, oh no, no worries, Fortune. Daniel, I was chatting with Pinay girl that had 4-year degree a couple years ago and was only making $7 a day at the mall. Thank you. Many people, because Daniel, I mentioned this before on a live stream. The degrees here in the Philippines, they're not all created equal. Like a degree, if you go to Manila, you go to the school where Fortune graduated, UP Diliman, University of the Philippines Diliman. That is the Harvard of the Philippines. Or you go to Ateneo de Manila, you go to De La Salle in Manila. Those colleges right there, they're almost equivalent to like a California State University in California, Cal State Long Beach, or Cal, the level of education there is in par with the education you would get at a Cal State University in California. But the schools here in the province, they're not, unfortunately, because the teachers, the professors, they're well paid when they're in Manila. Tuition there in Manila, like we mentioned before, like for a school year or a semester in Manila, will run you in like the 100,000 peso range. Here in the province, you can go to school here for $100 a semester. It's like, so the education is not in the same level. So when you hear somebody that says they're a college graduate and you're surprised, like, how come you just work at the mall? It's because the degree that they got is from a school here in the province. Not a knock on the school in the province. It's still a degree. It's still much better than not having a degree. If that person didn't have the 4-year degree, it'll be a challenge for her to get the job at the mall. It'll be a challenge for her to get the job at Jollibee or McDonald's. Again, because when you're working at the mall, you're working at Jollibee or McDonald's, you have to handle money. You have to handle cash. And would you trust somebody that handle cash that can't count? Or, that's not good with math? I don't think so. She can join the Air Force as a nurse. Oh yeah, I'm telling Leanna all this, Derek. Like I have the background, right? I have the 27 years working in the medical field, 20 years in the military, so I know all about it. I know the nurse program to get into the military. Definitely. That would be what my, if ever Leanna makes it to the United States, I would definitely encourage her to join the Air Force. And I know she will anyway on her own because, hey man, her kuya, her brother is like a retired United States Air Force, I know that will make me very happy if she ends up joining the Air Force as a nurse. That would make me very proud. We're in the Philippines, Daniel Washi. Definitely. You've got the right attitude, Ginno. Paying it forward pays off, it does, man. Because for me, smart biz, it's like I'm already content in life. Oh man, it's just sunny. I have to like close. I'm already content in life. I've already done everything I have to do. There's nothing more. I'm happy and content. I've done my part. The way I look at it, I can't take whatever money I save. I'm not rich by any chance, but whatever money I save, I'm prepared for dazzle. We're already prepared, like if I'm gone. But I can't take it with me. It's like why not like pass it on? If I can help? It's like leave a good legacy. Let me show you guys outside because, man, this is like amazing today. It is like warm in here. I got 2 fans going on here and it is hot, man. I'm gonna be sweating here in a minute. And let me show you guys how How sunny. Look at that, man. The sun is bright. Bright and sunny. Oh, Dazzle must have taken out Bumblebee. Because Bumblebee. Oh, yeah. Yesterday, Dazzle went to 7-Eleven with Mom and Leanna. So she parked it crooked. She parked it crooked. Bumblebee's parked crooked. There's our tricycle garbage collector right there. I don't know if you can see him. And that dog that you hear in the background, that is Prince. That is a golden retriever that my neighbor owns. Prince always barks at the garbage collector, but that's our garbage collector here. It's a tricycle owned by our HOA. Our HOA owns that tricycle. But man, look at that sun. It's like it is warm out here. It's near, I would say, high 80s right now. It's gonna be in the 90-degree temperature here today. Quiet in the neighborhood. Prince, the golden retriever that my neighbor owns, stopped barking because the garbage collector guys, they're done. But nice and sunny. Looks like it's gonna be a gorgeous day today here in Aklan province. Good day, good day for fishing actually. But I know Dazzle made an appointment in Calibo today. She has an appointment with a dermatologist at 11, so might kill their man. This would have been perfect day for them to go fishing, but maybe when JP gets here, that will be the first thing that we do with JP is go fishing, because JP is a big fisherman, so I know he'll get a kick out of going fishing. And I know the colonel is still at James and Karen's Adventure's house in Balete, so they wanted to go fishing. We actually had a plan to go fishing, I think the day before Christmas, but they had to slaughter Miggy. They had to slaughter Miggy. Leanne should see snow on a vacation first before committing to living in a cold country. Yeah, I know, right? Good AM, Rans. AI is changing the job market and will affect things. I think so. I think so, Smart Biz. With all the call centers here. But I'm sure, the Filipinos they'll pivot to something else. The thing about the Philippines, people say, oh, this can be like Philippines, man. Philippines, it's a survivor country, right? It's like, we get hit with so many calamities every year, earthquakes, flooding, typhoons, but like the Filipinos just press on, Maybe, if the AI market or whatever, it'll just mean more Filipinos will have to go somewhere else to work, I always say that, it's like, it seems like the number one export of Filipino or the Philippines, the number one export is the people. It's like Filipinos. You'll find a Filipino anywhere in the world. It's like it don't matter. It could be Europe, it could be Middle East, it could be Africa, it could be China. Even there's Filipinos working in China, man. $10 a day is good for 3 to 4 person. Rents 3 to 4 person. For the Davao area. Oh, the Davao area for that girl that you were communicating with. Glad to hear you are part of the community. I plan on retiring there in a couple of years in the provincial area. Any suggestions? Been hearing meet the barangay captain, police, etc. Me, I haven't even met the barangay captain here or the police. I've never had any run-in with the police. To me, I got involved with Leanna's school just because it came natural. It's like I've always been good at academics, and then when Leanna started going to school there, I noticed some of the deficits Like one of the deficits I saw at Leanna's school, Michael, here's a school of thousands of kids. There's like thousands of kids. They're from kindergarten to 12th grade is Leanna's school, Numancia Integrated School. So you can imagine how many kids from kinder to all the way first grade to like 12th grade. And they had a library, right? They had two dictionaries in the library. I mean, how does that work? You know, it's like, how are the kids going to learn two dictionaries for the whole entire school? So what I did, fifth grade, sixth grade, I made sure in Leanna's class and the whole entire fifth grade class, the whole entire sixth grade class, I bought them, and with the viewers, of course, lots of our viewers, we got them dictionaries. Each student got dictionaries in the fifth grade, all the fifth graders, all the sixth graders, with the help, again, with the help of the people in our channel. But I'm careful with fundraising like that. I only get money from people I trust online, because that can be used against me here in the Philippines, unfortunately, because I'm not a NGO, I'm not a nonprofit, you know, I don't have a license to collect money, so I'm careful. That's why I don't announce anymore, like if I'm doing any community work. My friend Ray in Sacramento, California, he trusts me enough. We're good friends. I have friends, Ray De La Paz is another one. Ronaldo, very good friend of mine. My brother. I got friends that I trust, that they trust me enough that if they give me money, I make sure it gets to the kids. But I can't do the you know, I've seen other bloggers, you know, they collect money from other people. To me, that's just dangerous, because again, you know, I'm not a charitable organization. I have to be careful. But you can always, to me, if you're looking for an opportunity to help, Michael, the public schools in the Philippines, man, they need help badly. Not just with books, not dictionary. They need repairs on the classrooms. I bought electric fans for the classroom. I bought like water cooler dispensers for the classrooms. They need a lot, man. The budget, the Department of Education budget for public schools here, they just don't have a budget to fix the classroom blackboard, even chalk, even like a eraser. I mean, they are so lacking here in the public schools, in the province anyway, that I've seen. There's not enough help you can give them. They'll take any help that they can get. Good morning, bro. Hey, Michael C, my good friend, Entrese Martires in Cavite. Renz, the best way to get cheaper food is by buying at the... Yes, Renz. Eating out, you know, of course, eating out, the cost of making it for you. The best and the healthiest way to eat here is buy your produce, your fruits, your seafood at the public market. And cook it yourself, because you're gonna know what you're putting in your food. A lot of times, man, if you eat at the restaurant here, even the karinderya, man, they like to use MSG here. They like to use a magic sarap, you know, a lot of soy sauce, you know. The salt content is high, sugar content is high on food here. So if you're watching your health, like I am, I'm watching my health. I rarely eat out now, or when I do eat out, I select like the healthier options. Best to make your own food at home if you're watching your health. I mean, it's good food, don't get me wrong. It's good food. There's plenty of good Filipino food here, but it might not be the healthiest food for you. Okay, Daniel, some of these girls have no ambition. Either they lack the skill or lack the confidence. Yeah, like fortune, if a Filipina, works at the mall or works at the Jollibee, man, they're just gonna age out on those jobs. You know, the chances of getting promoted or getting a better job, unfortunately, it's not, with those type. If you're not educated, if you're not a career person, a professional here, hard to get ahead. It's like the minute you start getting older here, like on a job at the mall, they'll replace you with somebody younger. they'll just fire you. There's not like equal opportunity complaint. You can complain. The Philippines, they're backwards in a lot of ways with that. There's no discrimination in work here in the Philippines. An employer in the Philippines can specifically ask for what they're looking for. They can put on their ad, even at the mall, you'll see the ads. No one on 25 and younger, no one above 25, single, female. They can designate that. They can designate that here. It's not discrimination for them to do that. So as you can see, if you're getting up to 30s or 35 working at the mall, it's so easy for them to hire somebody younger than you and just fire you from your job. But if you do not have time to shop and cook food, try carinderia or eateries. The carinderias, we eat it all the time at the carinderia because you can get a dish like a viand in a little saucer for 60 pesos, about $1. For me, I try to concentrate on the vegetable dishes at the carinderia, like pinakbet. Pinakbet is good. It's got squash, green beans, okra. It's got eggplant in it. That I like that. The bitter melon. I like the bitter melon. It's got bitter melon. It's got tomatoes, onions, and sometimes scrambled egg in it. There's some vegetable dishes I like. Langka, ginataang langka. I like that. Langka is jackfruit, but the unripe jackfruit, and they cook it in coconut milk. Those are the vegetable dishes that I like, and cheap at the carinderia. And sometimes it does get salty. They over salt it, but at least it's healthy. At least it's a vegetable, man. At least it's freshly made. I've completed e-travel over a dozen times. I can't think of which part that takes a long time to complete, other than the system is down. Yes, I think that's the common problem, Luz Beltran. The system is down, or people have told me this. They go through the process. They fill out everything. Same thing that happens with the online tourist visa renewal. People doing the online tourist visa online. You'll input you go through these different pages. You keep putting this data, and you get to the end, maybe 10-15 minutes you've been filling out the form, and you hit send, or you hit okay to send it, and you get an error back. So now you got to go back and repeat it. It didn't save your information. That's the one that very common with online systems here in the Philippines, unfortunately. Fourth, I agree, Derek. In the USA, the children leave the nest at 18. Yes, right? That's the dynamic. I think here in the Philippines, it doesn't happen like that, Derek, because of the cost. Let's say, I have classmates, they graduate IT, 2016. They get jobs, and most of the jobs, unfortunately, not in Calibo. They're not going to get an IT job in Calibo. There's just no IT here. So a lot of my classmates, my batchmates, they went to Manila, they went to Cebu City. They work in call centers or in the IT, where they actually work with computer programming and all that. But they would start them out, 30,000 pesos, 40,000 pesos, right? Healthy salary for the Philippines. You're looking at $500, $700 a month. But your expenses going there, if you go to Manila and you get a high-end IT job here, or a call center job, the cost, renting there is not going to be cheap. You're looking at least 10,000 of your salary, and then the transportation, because a lot of the jobs are in Makati, the business district. You can't afford apartments or boarding houses in the area. A lot of times, a lot of my classes, they end up living far away. It takes them 2 hours in public transportation daily, one way. So just to get to work, they got to leave at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. just to get to Makati. And then and then coming home is going to be the same. And then sometimes when there's like flooding in Manila, which happens, limited on the transportation. So not an easy life, not easy. And it's even with that, even when you're in the business district, they're working already. Everything's expensive around you. It's like Fortune can tell you this. He always mentions it to me. He's always like, when he's like in the Makati for his lunch, he's always looking for like budget places to eat, because that area is just like pricey area. Sometimes when you are a regular patron or buyer in the karinderya, they will sometimes throw in extra or dagdag. Yeah. If you're a regular at the karinderya, free soup, and right, there's always free soup when I eat at the karinderya. Most karinderyas here in the province always give you free soup, stock, beef stock, chicken stock, tinola, whatever, free soup. And then if you're a regular, they'll give you extra, because they know you're a regular. They know that you're a regular customer. Davao has very good schools. The UP in Mindanao is in Davao, but they should be ambitious, know their career path, and make it happen. Don't wait for it to come or to have it. Yeah, well, that's pretty much anything in life, I think, Fortune, right? When the opportunity presents itself, man, you gotta jump. You gotta jump high, because opportunities are very few and far between here in the Philippines. And I see it. I see it with my batchmates from STI College Calibo in 2016. My batchmate. When I say batchmates, these are people we saw each other in college for 4 years, because when you go to college here, your classes kind of interact with each other. Like we foreign language, we had Japanese class. In the class, I could be IT. The person next to me could be hotel restaurant management, computer engineering, tourism. We were like, so my batchmates, when we graduated in 2016, there's about 500 of us. So we kind of knew each other because we run into like the hallways. We attended classes together at STI College Calibo, and they're all my friends. Most of them, anyway. At least half of them are my friends on Facebook, and I see like the trajectory, their life. The ones that out of my batch in 2016, the ones that are doing well for themselves, unfortunately, are the ones abroad. The minute, there's some that went to Canada, US, even some in Dubai. Those are the people that do well. The people that stayed here in the Philippines, it's a hard life for them, even with a college degree. I would say majority of them are still living at home in their 30s because they're single. When you're single here in your 30s, living at home is not that's accepted. It's like because you can't, you really can't afford to be on your own, because like the cost of living here. There are a lot of schools in Davao. The system shouldn't be down. I read and heard Philippines has less tourist visitors in 2025. Yes, you're correct. You're correct, Lux Beltran. Less tourists are coming. A lot of that is Chinese tourists. Chinese tourists don't come to the Philippines anymore. The friction between the Philippines and China, and then now with America using like 9 different military bases here in the Philippines, and China is not happy about that. I don't know. Maybe Chinese people put the Chinese government put a ban on supporting the Philippines tourism or whatnot, but even I can tell you, even Calibo, our town of Calibo here, international airport in Calibo, we used to get flights all the time from China here. I've not heard of a Chinese plane landing anymore in China. There used to be direct flights from China to Calibo Airport. From Wuhan, of all places, Wuhan, China was one of them. I think a couple more areas in China. They used to land regularly in Calibo Airport. They used to have buses load of Chinese people, bringing them to Boracay Island. I have not seen that in 2025. I've not seen that, so that's that alone, man. Boracay used to get like 1 million Chinese a year. That's how much Chinese used to love Boracay, but they're not nowhere near that. I bet you they didn't even reach 25,000 Chinese this year. They're just not coming to the Philippines anymore, and that was a big market for the Philippines was Chinese tourists. I guess they're not happy that the Philippines sided with the United States. Daily wages here cost about 670 to 700 pesos for 8 hours a day. Minimum wage, roughly US dollar 12. Rents, that is in Manila. That is in the city. I know that is not the minimum wage here in the province. They will be happy here in the province to get 500 pesos. Maybe that's why my mom likes to do laundry by hand. Reminds her of all. Maybe that's why and mom likes, man, we have a machine that she runs it in the machine, but she likes to scrub, make sure stains are all out. I do, before mom got here, I was doing the laundry. Leanna and I would be doing the laundry, and I still do my laundry, it's like, but mom, she like, how it is, mom like wants to like do everything. Mom takes good care of me, Dazzle, and Leanna. She spoils the three of us, but I always tell Leanna, hey, do the dishes. That way your mom doesn't have to do that. We're always helping out mom here, but she's a mom. Moms take care, they like to take care of us here. Yes, Derek. In the States, when they go to college, they leave the nest. Here, it also happens when are from Visayas and Mindanao. Yes, Visayas and Mindanao. Because you got to go to the college in Calibor, but study in Luzon. Same thing. If you got to fly to Luzon, that's another island, man. But if they stay within, they stay at home. They stay at home. J-Boy, moms think if washing machine, it was not. I know, right? Yeah. Mom, exactly, Portion. She thinks if it's just a washing machine, it's not clean enough. That's how mom thinks. She's got to rinse it by hand and everything, so it's cleaner. It's cleaner. Hey Ray, my brother in Sacramento, California. I will be proud of Leanna if she joins the UN. I know, right, man? I think that would be like the ultimate dream for me. That would be if I ever see Leanna end up in the United States Air Force as a nurse. I think that would be like my proudest moment. My proudest moment. Bright and sunny day. It is bright and sunny, man. Mainit na umaga, Master Sergeant. All right, my good friend in Northern California. Hey man, I heard there's like some flooding in like Daly City, right? I saw a video on my Facebook about Daly City in Northern California. I guess the rains in California, and that's rare. I don't hear a lot of flooding in California. If Leanna gets a degree first and then joins Air Force as an officer, she can support all of us. I know, right? She can support all of us if she becomes an officer. That's funny, Daniel. Nice weather. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful outside, man. Now I miss Boracay. When you show the sunshine, when you saw the sunshine. JP, great lamb chop plan, Daniel. All right. What is the weather report for Monday? So far, it's the same for Monday. I was looking at the Pag-asa website. So far, chance of rain, a thunderstorm, but pretty much the same weather. I mean, we might get rain, we might not. I'm betting more like sunny. Weather. We're actually, JP, we're gonna go to Boracay Sunday. Dazzle and I will stay at the Piccolo Hotel, our favorite hotel in Boracay. That way, we're already there. We're already in Caticlan, so we'll pick you up. We'll just ride the ferry in the morning, get our car, and then pick you up. So, but we did that because our good friend from Wild Wall Cebu, Robbie and Jonalyn, they're kind of celebrating their engagement in Boracay Island right now, and we wanted to see them. We wanted to like hang out with them on Sunday. Tomorrow we'll be in Boracay tomorrow. Ginno, I wonder if there are any maybe surfing spots in Panay. I know you only waves when there is a storm in the China Sea. Here in Boracay, the surfing here is kite surfing because we don't get the high waves. I mean, a little bit sometimes on White Beach you do see some, but not big waves as far as surfing. You know, that's probably Siargao. I know in the Philippines, Siargao Island and La Union is like the two surfing places here in the Philippines. In Boracay, if you're looking for kite surfing, man, kite surfing is like Boracay is one of the top spots. Like on the back beach on Bulabog Beach, always windy there. So like, man, there's some good kite surfers. And they're getting fancy now. They're adding like I saw this one. It looks like a surfboard, but it has like a machine on the bottom. It's like a hydrofoil. You end up raising on the ground, and it's motor powered, so you can kind of surf on top of the water. And then I've seen them now where they hold a kite, like a small kite, to like even propel them faster. So there's stuff to do like that. And then you got skimboarders. Here in Aklan, that's pretty popular in Boracay Island. Even here in Calibo at the Lambingan Beach, there's a lot of skimboarder where, because the beach is flat, the waves come in and you throw your board and then you run it and then you hit your board. You know, we have a lot of skimboarders there, but not the regular surfers like in La Union and Siargao Island. They had usually the surfing spots eastern seaboard from the Pacific, so like your Leyte. Hey James and Karen's Adventure. Good morning, James. Good morning. Ted Bohol. James, so we're gonna head to Boracay tomorrow. We're gonna meet up with friends of ours from Cebu. So we'll be in Boracay Sunday, stay overnight in Boracay, pick up JP on Monday, and then maybe Tuesday we can go fishing, maybe with the Colonel and JP, maybe on Tuesday morning. Because I know Loola's Fish Farm is closed on Monday anyway, so Tuesday might be a good day to go fishing. But no pressure, just if it works out, it works out. Because we all have different schedules. But that might be a good day to go fishing. Not yet New Year's. I think the 30th, not yet New Year's Eve is the 31st, so maybe the 30th we can go fishing. Cloudy over Cebu today. I'm looking out at Cebu right now. Very hazy over there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Ted's got an amazing view of Cebu, the water, and then Cebu from his elevated vantage point in Bohol. J&K, that equal opportunity stuff backfired in the USA. Better off without it, in my opinion. Oh yeah, the equal. I get it, James. Here, like I said, they're really specific when they're. Oh, there's mom. She's coming down. They're really specific when they hire here. It's like. Good morning, mom. Good morning, mom. I think with the equal opportunity stuff in the U.S., just my opinion, I think they went overboard. Everything's like, you're kind of confused on what you got to be super careful. You don't say the wrong word. At least here, they're really specific on what they can ask that, this job requires you to become, be able to lift or you got to be a male. You can be specific when you hire here in the Philippines. It's not like discrimination or anything. Good AM, James and Karen. Sorry, Ted, you are in Bohol. Are the surf areas there? Captain Ron. Did you say Ginno mailing a letter from the U.S. would get lost? Yes, yes, I would say so. I would not mail a letter that will have to run through the Philippine Postal Service. It might make it, but it won't get here fast. If you put stamps on a letter or mail in the U.S. to make it here to the Philippines, like to me, it could be months before I get that letter. It's better if you use like FedEx, UPS, something like because what they do like with like Amazon Prime, when you send something to the Philippines, Amazon Prime, when it gets to the Philippines, DHL takes over. They'll put that package in a DHL package, and there's a DHL person that will deliver it. That's usually the process. But anything to do going through the Philippine Postal Service, it just doesn't get here. And if it does, it's months and months delayed. I've not gotten a piece of mail now. I don't think I got a piece of mail in 2025, but before that, I would get sometimes from the Veterans Administration in the U.S. I would get like a piece of mail. And when you look at the mail, it's like 5-6 months. The VA in the U.S. mailed it January, and I get it like in June or July. So it might eventually get to the Philippines, but high chance that it can get lost. Because here in the province, the problem is we don't have mail carriers. I've not seen a mail carrier here in the Philippines ever. I've been here like going on 15 years. I've never seen a guy, like the mailman. I've never seen a mailman here. You have to get your mail. Like for me, if I have to get my mail, it'll be like at the town hall. There's a little post office there with a guy sitting there. It's not even a worker of the Philippine postal system. It's a worker of the town, works for the mayor, and he's just got piles and piles of mail there. And the reason I find out that I have mail, if it has Camellia address on it, Camellia, our community here, the security guard will get notified by that guy that works at the town hall and say, hey, do you have a Ginno there with this address? And the security guard will tell me, hey, Kuya, you got mail so I have to go get the mail there, so. But I don't rely on the mail system anymore. I don't have many communication anymore with the United States. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Fortune, from James and Karen's Adventures. Fortune, it's Christmas season. Maybe overload of e-travel. That could be it too, right? Maybe it's an overload of because December is a heavy month of travel to the Philippines. When should I look for at Carinderia to make sure I won't get sick? Oh, Flyboy. To me, what I look for at Carinderia is don't go, if it's like, let's say 11, you're going to lunch at the Carinderia. That's a perfect time for lunch at 11. Because a lot of times, the trays that you see lined up, you can see them like cooking the food, and they're going to be pouring it on those trays. Hot, steaming hot. That's when I would like to catch. When I eat Carinderia for lunch, I always get there around 11. Don't go by 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock or 1:30, because you're going to get, the food display even, you're going to see a lot of looks like, what's left, it could be a whole tray, that's a little portion, and it more likely it will be cold already, because like a lot of times at the Carinderia, they don't heat it up. They just have it on trays, on displays. I mean, it's covered, that way flies can't get in it, but it's been sitting there, like if it has some type of sauce, it'll like cool down, they don't heat it, they don't reheat it when they serve it to you, unless you ask, but I've never seen them reheat anything. Or maybe the soup dishes in like the big containers, there's like a big containers of soup, those remain hot or warm for a long time, because when you open the lid, you can kind of tell when there's like steam coming out of it. I would get that, but when you open it and it's cold, I wouldn't eat that. That would be my pro tip when eating at Carinderia. Emilio, January to May is the best time at Boracay for good weather. Yes, perfect weather, man. That's like we're coming into the dry season. That's like the perfect time to go to Boracay. March, April, May. We usually, man, March, April, May here in the Philippines, even Boracay, anywhere you go in the Philippines, man, it's gonna be hot. It's another level of hot. Most often when it's March, April, May, if I'm outside, I can't even wear like a cotton T-shirt. It'll be soaked in sweat. You gotta get those dry fit, those moisture wicking material, or if you're in Boracay, you can walk around without any shirt on. That's okay. That's accepted in Boracay. You can just walk around there in your board shorts because it is hot, man. Front beach is all that white sand. That white sand, even stepping on the white sand there, it's hot. Even if you're by the canopy, you lose the breeze too. Boracay Island during the March, April, May, that front beach area, man, it becomes like a long swimming pool. Hardly any wave, hardly any wind. I've done videos there. We have our own paddle board, and that's all night. We've paddle boarded all the way from Station 3 to Station 1. You can paddle board the whole beach because it's so flat. No waves at all during March, April, and May. Even if I get a salad and onigiri, the triangle with the seaweed from 7-Eleven would already cost 165 pesos. The binalot sinigang is already 170, right? They're not cheap. Man, 7-Eleven's not cheap, even 7-Eleven. If I get the hinlin, a siopaw, the siomai, these are some of the quick options. Yeah, the quick options, like what Fortune is saying, when he works in the business district, the financial district, that's kind of like the quick meals if he wants a lower end quick meal. So imagine even if you're in Manila, if you're working in the business district, and let's say like the person earlier said, you're making 700 pesos to 800 pesos a day. So if you even like a meal at a 7-Eleven, it's already costing you 165, 170 pesos. So a lot of workers I know, they bring their packed lunch. They bring rice and something from home, in the Tupperware. They write, because you can't even afford, like Fortune is saying, in the financial district, to eat lunch anywhere there. In the office, if I go more expensive ones like Ramen Kurada, Feta Life, Red Table Korean, right? If it's more, that's why I'm pretty sure most people that work in the offices in Manila, most of them try to bring their own lunch, pack their own lunch. Right, Ted, I'm planning the whole trip June because my daughter's second SEM classes will end in May. All right, Fortune. You're going to have a great time. I think you've been to Bohol before, so you know. Hey, Michael and Che, Castaway Drip in Dumaguete City. Yeah. My brother from another. Thank you for joining the live stream, my brother. Good day, Michael S. Morning, Master Fortune. And congratulations, Michael S. And I've been watching your live stream. I sneak in a comment in your live stream, and man, Michael, that Castaway Drip, man, it's like his live streams that he walks around Dumaguete City gets thousands of views now. So even when I make a comment, I know it's hard for him to like keep track. Like there's so many comments now. Congratulations. I knew you were going to get big like that. I knew you were going to get big, man, because you just have the personality, man. And you're a good person. And I will always support you. Don't forget us little people, man. Don't forget us little people, man. Good AM. Good morning, Master Fortune. Flyboy, look for the crowded eatery. They will have. Ooh, nice. Good tip. That's a pro tip right there from Ted. The carinderias with a lot of people. Usually the locals know. The locals know where to eat. The ones that's not crowded, there's a reason. There's a reason. The locals, that's a pro tip. Pro tip from Ted there. Ginno, here's my expense of going to work on site. Toll, 78 for toll. Naiya, toll, another toll, gas, and lunch. Just to get to work, right? Just to get to work. And fortune, I know, my classmates that work in the business district in Manila, they go through the same thing you're going, because some of them live in Cavite, some of them live in Manila, have to go, they tell me, Kuya, I have to ride a tricycle, I have to ride a jeepney, I have to ride a bus, then I have to walk, just to get to work. Takes them like 2 hours or more one way to get to work, then work in an office all day, and then have to leave, they leave really early in the morning, like before 5, before the sun is even up, and they come home dark. It's already dark by the time they get home. Man, life for Filipinos, man, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, And that's the good job. That's the good job. You do that because you have a good job. You have a job that you might actually be able to save money, So, man, life in the Philippines is not easy, Corrected, the ones that are crowded have the turnover, so they cook again. Yeah, I always kind of watch, because a lot of times the carinderia right behind them, you can see where they're cooking. They're like the big woks, I'm always kind of like, when I'm in line, I'm always like looking what they're cooking, and when they pour that big wok in like a tray, that's usually what I get, because it's the freshest. And then again, the ones that are in the giant metal Filipino containers, if you lift the top, usually they'll have like a rag or something because it's hot on the top. You'll pick it up, and when you open it, if it's like steaming hot, that's usually a good sign. That's usually a good sign. But when you open it and you look, it's cold, kind of greasy on top, or all that sebo, they call it sebo. It's already like coagulating or anything. I'll pass on that. That's why I am happy if I am at work from home. I know, right? I mean, that alone, when you work from home, you're saving so much, man. And then to travel too, you don't have to drive, or somebody drive you to the, Fortune. Our Atening hand washes our clothes and uses washing machine only for the final wash and some drying. Yeah, mom's out there now. Mom's out there now. Mom's always like hitting our laundry. That's our first thing. Mom does the laundry, and she'll water all her plants. She's got like a calamansi. It's actually got a little calamansi on it. Like, she's all happy about her calamansi tree. We cemented all our area outside our house, so she's got these giant pots that she puts these plants that she plants. What is a typical itinerary day for you? A typical itinerary, I get up 4:30. I'm always up at 4:30. I walk for about an hour. That's my morning walk. Sometimes it's like still dark, but I walk in the subdivision, and I'm a walk. I used to run, but I can't run anymore. So I just walk in the morning, and then I come here, start getting ready for the live stream, do my coffee, heat up the coffee. I usually start between 6:30 to 7:30. Just depends on how organized I am. Then I start the live stream, and then after the live stream, really, I'll eat breakfast. I'll wait for Dazzle to get up, because usually Dazzle gets up at 10 a.m. And then I'll ask her, "Hey, babe, what you want to do?" It's like if she wants to go eat lunch at a carinderia, or if she has a craving for something to eat, we'll take Bumblebee, or I showed you Bumblebee earlier. We'll go to the public market on Bumblebee. We'll get the ingredients, because here in the Philippines, you don't store a lot of stuff in your refrigerator. That's why people ask me sometimes, what happens when you have power outages, all the food in the refrigerator? We don't really store a lot of stuff in the refrigerator, because here we live like a kilometer away from the public market. So on Bumblebee, it's such an easy trip, and you can buy. When we buy potatoes, we'll buy like 3 or 4 potatoes. We'll buy carrots. We'll buy 2 carrots, 2 cucumber. 4 tomato. We don't buy a lot. That way we know we're always getting fresh. It doesn't sit in the refrigerator or outside the refrigerator. Seafood, Filipinos are really particular about fish, shrimp, squid, you name it. Filipinos won't buy it frozen, they want it fresh. They want it like the day, the catch of the day. Like when you go to the market, you want it coming out of that. They have like styrofoam containers, fresh. It's fresh. Some of it's still alive. Some of the fish are still moving. The shrimp are still jumping. The crab is still moving. That's how you want to buy. That's what we buy. That's why we go to the public market here at least three times a week. And then we'll cook, and then in the afternoon, it's just, I usually take a nap in the afternoon. It's like a 2-3 hour nap is common for me after I eat lunch, after I cook, after I eat. And then just during the day, whatever day thing Dazzle decide, like if she wants to go fishing, we'll go fishing at Loola's Fish Farm. If she needs something at the mall, we'll go to the mall. Sunset time, a lot of times sunset time, if we pick up Leanna, I take Leanna to school in the morning at 7. I pick her up at school at 4. Usually we'll stop at the plaza, the Numancia Plaza. There's like food vendors there, like fish ball, chicken skin. Leanna likes all that stuff, like milk shakes, like mango shakes. We'll take Leanna there before we go home. Sometimes it's just Leanna and I on Bumblebee. I'll stop there. I'll let her do that. She's hanging out with her classmates a little bit after class, and then take her home. And then, by that time, I'll sit with Leanna with the school, her schoolwork. Usually that's about an hour. So about 6. I usually eat dinner like 5:30, 6. I'm early dinner. By 8, I'm asleep, man. I'm asleep at 8. So that's a normal day for me. Pretty easy retired life, And in between those time, I might edit a video. Because I try to do a video every other day, So pretty busy. I mean, I don't get bored. I never get bored. If anything, I run out of time sometimes. I get behind on videos. I get behind, and in between all that, I gotta squeeze in making a video, right? I gotta Michael Manalastas. Yep, heavy rains in the Bay Area for a week now. I didn't realize it's been a week, man. Are flooded and serve flash flood warning. Man, that is rare. That is rare for California. Did you already argued with any one of them in-laws at least once? I've never had an argument with them because it's about respect. We always had respect. Mom, dad, me. We've always had respect for each other. It's not, like I said, there's times where I had to say no, especially when I know like a relative is asking for money that, he's not trying hard enough or, don't have a job. I'm not going to support like laziness or anything like that. But for the most part, we've always gotten along. And it's all about respect, I think. I respect them, they respect me. They will not approach me unless I know by the time mom or Dazzle's father approach me, it's usually, I'm like the last resort. They've tried everything that they can. It's just that, they don't have the means or they don't have the money. A few years back, I sent a birthday card to a girl in the PH who never got it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would not mail anything. I would not mail mail it using UPS, FedEx, pay the extra money. But if it's gonna go through the U.S. Postal Service and it's gotta go to the Philippine Postal Service, it'll get lost. I wonder what's mom's perspective finding that Dazzle is dating an afam. I know we talk about that. We've actually, for the most part, I know not just us, not just mom and dad. Mom and dad, for me, when I started dating Dazzle, they were happy. They were happy for Dazzle because they knew, they met me. Dazzle's dad knew that I was serious. I wasn't the guy that dated many women. Dazzle wasn't just gonna be a fling. I wasn't gonna leave her. I was pretty honest with Dazzle's dad when we were hanging out. I told her, once we graduate from college, I plan on marrying Dazzle. So it's always been a good relationship with them, even to this day. That's why Dad was just here like a month and a half ago. He was hanging out with us. Merry Christmas, Ramil. Merry Christmas. Ginno argue Emilio. Not in his nature, I believe. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not an argumentative person. It's like I've never been. It's like even during the military, I've always kind of like. I'm not the rock the boat kind of person. I just want to everybody to get along. My mom taught me a long time ago, and I lived through it every single day. If I don't have anything good to say about a person, I just don't say anything. It's like best to keep it to yourself. That's what my mom told me. That's why you always hear from me positive things. If I have a negative opinion about something or about another person, I just keep it to myself. Hello, sir, and everyone. All right. Minnie Mauser had said hi. All right. Hi, Elbs. All right. Hey, Colonel. Good morning. Good morning, Colonel. It was fun hanging out with the Colonel at the Christmas party, in Rojas City. I'm glad we got to hang out, Colonel. Colonel's a great guy. I love the Colonel. Colonel's going to be a friend of mine. Belus, hey Belus, good morning. Good morning, all. My good friend, my brother in Leyte. The farmer, Belus the farmer of Leyte. Good AM, Belus. Good AM, guys. All right. Good morning. Life is so simple in the province, particularly in barangay. People tend to sleep early. I know, right? That's the thing. When I say, I guess I got used to that here when I moved to the province here. I lived in Calibo when I was going to college, 2012 to 2016. And even Calibo, I mean, it's better now, but when 2012, I remember the mall, there was only one mall back then. It was Gaisano Capitol, and that mall closed at 7. I remember there were classes before, when Dazzle and I would attend college. Our last class would end at 7 p.m. So it's like, sometimes at 7 p.m. you got out of class. Hey, let's do something. Man, there was nothing to be done in Calibo. Everything was shut down. It was dark in Calibo at 7 back in 2012, 2016. Now there's a little bit more activity, maybe till 9. Because I know the City Mall Calibo, that they built they opened, I think, 2016, 2017. City Mall Calibo opens till 9. So at least there's activity till 9. But come 9 p.m. in Calibo, man, the whole town is dead, man. It's like everything shuts down once the mall shuts down. Like TSALN is saying, in the province, the barangay, 7:30, you'll hear crickets. There's not, here in Numancia, I have not seen a single bar here in Numancia. I've been living here now in Numancia since 2016, now 10 years. I've never seen a bar here. There's no bar I can go here in Numancia where it's a sit-down bar where people drink beer and all. I've never seen one. They'll have a resto bar, and usually it'll be open like for dinner time, but by 9 p.m. it's empty, man. It's empty. We're in the province here. This is like Castaway. Have a great day, my brother. Hey, have a great day, my brother. From another, we'll catch up someday soon. No worries. Yeah, we'll do a video chat again. We'll do a video chat. By the way, I know, right? My fade, man, my high and tight. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Looking good. All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I gotta keep it high and tight, man. I like my hair short, man. And wake up at 4 a.m. Start cleaning the house and turn on the radio for good music. Happy weekend. Yeah, right. Like me, when I get up at 7:30, I walk, but I'm keeping, an eye on my grass. There's something that, I know what you mean. Start making sure everything's nice and tidy in the house here. Transportation is limited. Back then, after school, we need to go home early. We got to go home early. All right. I got to the bottom of the comments. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining the live stream. We're getting close to like 2026. Hope everybody's having a good holiday season, good Christmas. Getting ready here for New Year's Day. I'm hearing fireworks, random fireworks. It's not like all out fireworks here, but an explosion here, an explosion there, even here in our community. And even on the way from Roa City, driving yesterday to back here in our house, sporadic, you would hear like people fireworks, doing fireworks already. So getting ready to welcome 2026. Hope everyone has a good day. Bright and sunny here. Amazing weather, man. This is like almost summer weather here in the Philippines. It's so amazing. But thank you again for joining the live stream. Take care, everyone, and everyone, please stay blessed. Stay blessed.